Good afternoon. It is December 17th, 2016. This is a special update on the incoming winter weather event that we have for our region. We have got a lot to get to, so let's get to it. Right now, we have heavy thunderstorms forming over portions of western Kentucky, forming in bands. This is going to become mesoscale banding and could very well produce an easy 1 to 2 inches in our area. They have a very severe weather supercell light. These are supercells forming, and they have characteristics of producing severe weather. So please, if you are under any of these storms, please take precautions. They all have these little hooks on the back side of them. So every single one of these, with as windy as it is right now, all have the chance of producing some rotation. Not saying there's going to be any tornadoes, but the characteristics are there for one today. So please take precautions if you are under any of these storms, and keep an eye to the sky. Temperatures right now extremely warm in the mid to upper 70s. These are about 10 degrees higher than what was forecasted today, but that is just going to make the drop in temperatures for tonight ever so much bigger. So we're going to have to continue to watch that temperature, because that is going to be key to what is falling in your backyard going into tonight. Looking at the GFS model on what is going to happen tonight, let's go ahead and walk you through this. Notice how we see an area of heavier precipitation forming over western Kentucky, western Tennessee. That is going to be likely going into this afternoon. Watch the radar fill in over the next few hours in these portions that are seeing these scattered rain showers right now. These little dots of showers will continue to fill in, and eventually we'll be looking at widespread rainfall across the area. Colder air making its way into the area by 6 p.m. this evening. The cold front is going to be situated through Indianapolis, back towards southwestern Indiana, through Marion, Illinois, and towards Cape Girardeau, Missouri. That cold front will be entering into our neck of the woods into midnight tonight and around 9 p.m. Notice how around midnight we're starting to see all of this rain. Really, it will be switching over before midnight for portions of western Kentucky, but we're looking at that rain switching over to the freezing rain, which is this pink, and then sleet, which is the purple, and the blue back here is snow, and this green is rain. The heavier the colors, or the brighter the colors, the heavier the precipitation. The darker the colors, heavier precipitation. So we watch going into tonight. It eventually moves out by around, let's see, this moves out. GFS wants to take this out by 6 a.m. this morning. I think it'll be out of the purchase area and the Ohio River counties in western Kentucky. I think it'll be out of there before 6 a.m. I think freezing rain and sleet and maybe some snow will come to an end by around 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, if not a little bit before then, for our Mississippi River counties in western Kentucky. But east of there, everything will be done around sunrise or just an hour or so afterwards, and we can expect that rain moving out of the area, or freezing rain and sleet moving out of the area by then. The GFS snowfall totals is not much. Like I said, we're going to be mainly looking at an ice event for our area. This is not going to be an ice storm. This is going to be an ice event, and so we're not looking at anything as far as significant ice accumulations. The risk is there, but the risk favors the pattern for this system favors minor ice accumulations. But as we know, minor ice accumulations can be very, very treacherous out there on the roadways. Looking at the Canadian model, what it thinks precipitation is going to do this evening. The Canadian model is very heavy on precipitation. It has a lot more widespread, heavier rain. This is an outlier for the rest of the models, meaning that this is one of the few models that are showing the more widespread heavy snow and sleet and freezing rain. Notice how it keeps that freezing rain very, very heavy across portions of western Kentucky. I don't think this, like I said, I don't think this particular outcome is going to be likely, but it barely even changes things over to sleet in portions of our area, and therefore the Canadian shows a lot of ice in our area. It shows up to a half inch of ice. I do not think that is going to happen. The Canadian model has done very well lately, but as we can tell with our first winter weather event, it is not doing very well. So that might be one thing to keep in mind going into the upcoming winter season, on how the Canadian model handles these snowstorms and ice events in our area. Looking at the Canadians' snowfall forecast, again, not much, maybe a trace amount of snow on the very back side of the system, if any. Like I said, mainly going to be an ice event for our area. Looking at the NAM model, this is the controlled NAM model. We do have other two versions of the NAM model to look at, which we will look at here in just a second. It changes that rain over to freezing rain and sleet. It doesn't have a lot of it. This is key. If this band of heavier precipitation moves to the east before the cold air arrives, then our ice accumulations are going to be a trace amount to 5/100ths of an inch, if that. That's still enough to cause hazardous conditions on the roadways, but that's not near as much as what it would be as if this heavier band stays in our area. I think that the mesoscale band of rain stays in our area, meaning the heavier band of rain stays in our area when the cold air arrives. And what that means is that we're going to see some possibly heavy sleet and freezing rain at times, but it's not going to be heavy accumulations, because if it is heavy, heavy at times falling out of the sky, it's not going to last very long. Eventually, it will become light, and then we will be looking at it moving out of the area. There is the potential for ice accumulations tonight to be significant, and when we're talking about significant ice accumulations, that would be around 1/4 of an inch. There is the potential for that in some areas, but I think we will avoid those totals. I think the ice accumulations will be anywhere between 0 to 0.15. So that would be between 1/10 to 2/10, and that's a lot of ice on the roadways. And that just a trace amount can create some problems. Some of our deadliest winter weather events have been with just trace amounts of ice in our area, and we are going to be looking at that tonight. I think a trace amount is almost likely, but the accumulating ice is where we're starting to get a little iffy on, and especially when we're talking about snow, I think we're going to avoid the snow because we have high pressure moving into the area. That is going to eat away at the snow to our west. It's going to make it dry out, and by the time that snow band gets here, it's not going to be having much left of it. So mainly just sleet and freezing rain for our area. And it would be great if the freezing rain would change over to sleet quicker than usual, because I would rather have sleet than freezing rain. Freezing rain is that pure glaze of ice on the roadways, and the sleet are little bitty ice pellets that fall out of the sky. You all know what sleet and freezing rain it looks like and the difference between the two. And I think that if we see the sleet being changed over from the freezing rain quicker than normal, then we're going to be looking at less hazardous conditions, but they're still going to be there. If we see that freezing rain persisting longer and not changing over to sleet, then we're going to be looking at more of that glaze on the roadways than we are the accumulating sleet. This is what the NAM model thinks is going to happen this afternoon. You notice how I'm talking a lot about the ice, but I'm not showing you the ice totals. Some of these models that I'm showing you right now, I still have a couple more to show you, are not having the best idea on ice totals, at least what I think. My forecast is some of these models are not showing what my forecast is for ice accumulation tonight, so I'm not showing you some of these. The last model that I'm going to show you is the one that I think has the best handle on ice accumulations for tonight. We'll look at that here in a second, and I already showed you the NAM Futurecaster radar, but I'm going to show you what the NAM shows for snowfall, and once again, the NAM is showing hardly anything for our region. If it would load really quick. Here it is, not showing much for our region. Maybe yeah, just 0. This one's showing hardly anything, which is what I think. I don't think we're going to see hardly any snowfall accumulation, if any at all. Here is the NAM 4KM. This is just another run of the NAM, but it does have a slightly different solution. This is more high resolution than the other NAM is. This one also showing hardly any. It shows that band of rain moving out before the colder air arrives, and that is a possibility. I'm hoping that happens, but if it doesn't happen, then we're looking at ice accumulation to be likely in our area, and then it shows a few isolated snow showers afterwards. I don't even have to show you the snowfall for this one. We all know that this one's going to be 0 because it barely even has a snow shower painted in our area. This is the one where I think has the best handle on precipitation this evening. Here's that heavier precipitation forming this evening. There's the band of rain. But what's going to happen is there's the possibility that we're going to see this band of rain move off to our east, and then the radar is going to fill in a little bit more. So we could have a break around 6, 7 o'clock this evening in the precipitation. That would be where the cold air is still to our northwest and the band of rain is still to our east. But what's going to happen is we're going to see another area of low pressure form, and it's going to paint precipitation across southwest portions of Kentucky, northeast Arkansas, and southeast Missouri, northwest Tennessee. Those areas are going to get more precipitation, and that more precipitation is going to move back into our area. There it is. the resurgence of that precipitation, showing moderate to heavy freezing rain to sleet at times. This one showing sleet. The purple is sleet, so this one is a model that I believe is going to be correct. I don't think we're going to see 4 to 5 hours of freezing rain. I think we're going to see maybe an hour of it and then changing over to sleet, and then mainly that is going to mainly become light, and then it'll move out of the area. Here's what the NAM 3KM model. This is actually an experimental run of the NAM, and I think it's going to do good with this upcoming winter weather event. This is snowfall predicted for the NAM 3KM model, and it also showing hardly anything for our area. We're going to have to keep going forward. This green bar is the loading symbol. I'm waiting for it to continue to load, and it also showing nothing in the way for snowfall for our area. That's different when it comes to ice accumulation. This is total accumulated freezing rain. So this is the freezing rain accumulations. This is not counting in sleet accumulations. Looking at the next couple of hours going into tonight. Sorry. This is before the resurgence of precipitation moves back into our area. Here's when it starts to move in. Notice we have these little bands of precipitation forming. Notice these are not extremely heavy ice accumulations, but they're enough to cause problems. And we're going to see these little pockets of heavier ice accumulations in our region, but overall, anywhere between 0 to 0.15 of an inch of ice in our area. Several amount, that's a high amount to cause enough problems, but I think that model has the best handle for precipitation in our region. We'll see how it does. It could be the best one, and it could be the actual solution. And this is the model's first winter weather event in its entire history, because it just now became a new model. So we'll see if it does good. It has the potential to. Here's the Futurecast radar showing that resurgence of freezing rain. We'll make sure it loops one more time. Here's your freezing line. Notice the radar filling in, and then that freezing rain coming through. We might see anywhere between, let me show the time frame up here for you. We might see anywhere between 1 to 4 hours of winter precipitation in our region. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that. Right now we're looking at temperatures. Here's the cold front starting to come through. You can tell such a huge defined line, guys. We're going to be seeing temperatures dropping about 50 degrees in the next 12 hours from now through tonight, going into around midnight, 3 a.m., 6 a.m. Notice our temperatures dropping extremely fast, and the temperatures already by tomorrow afternoon to tomorrow morning are going to be in the upper teens to lower 20s. If we get a little bit of accumulation of ice or a little accumulation of snow, then we can take a few degrees off of these temperatures. And then as we go into tomorrow afternoon, high temperatures for tomorrow may not make it out of the upper teens to low 20s. Bitter cold air going into the forecast for tomorrow, and then even colder air for Sunday night, Monday morning. Temperatures are likely to be in the upper single digits to low teens. Winds are also going to be extremely high during this time frame. Winds are already gusty right now, but we're going to see a little bit of a break or a little bit of a recedence in those winds. But as we go into this evening, we're going to see that area of low pressure, the second one, form, and then winds are going to become even stronger going into tonight. Winds will be, as you can tell, the way the arrows are pointing, coming out of the northwest of the United States. So that is going to be bringing that cold Canadian Arctic air into our region. Winter weather advisories are posted in our area. The entire area of western Kentucky are in a winter weather advisory for possible snow, sleet, and ice accumulations tonight. Any of those will be light. We also have a chance for a slight chance of severe weather in our area as those thunderstorms form today, as they are right now. And why they are forming before that cold front comes through, we have the chance for some possible severe storms in our area. You don't see yourself under the chance for severe weather and under a winter weather advisory on the same day. It's kind of weird, but it's happening today, and so that is making the weather just a little bit crazier. Here's the precipitation going throughout the next couple of hours. Now, going through this time frame, this is going to be all liquid right here. It's when we get to this time frame. Notice the difference between the two. We're looking at 7/10 of an inch in West Paducah and then an inch. So that's an additional 3/10 of an inch of precipitation, some of which could be frozen, and then even more going through 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. So we're going to have to watch for that additional resurgence of precipitation. Stay safe tonight, guys, and please